Hello, welcome back to the channel. I'm EVM, and right now I'm in Whitby having a mini holiday, and quite frankly, YouTube pauses for nobody. So this is one of those where I'm just essentially talking to the camera, but I've tried to make it a bit more interesting by going through the comment section of my YouTube channel over the last year or so to try and pick some interesting comments, shall we say. Flat earther level for some of them, but just to give you an idea of what I do get on a regular basis. It's like, and I've said this a few times, electric vehicles, to pick one, genuinely anger people. And I don't know where it comes from. They're just cars. Something you don't have to get, something you don't have to buy. But anyway, let's go through the comments. Let's try and pick out a few fun ones and see how the world thinks. Right, well, let's start with this one. Batteries are up to $10,000. This is awful, and just this week there was a parked electric car that caught on fire. Totally burned out. 1 in a million I might. 1 in 100,000, no way. So essentially this is a common thing that I get all the time. An electric car has a fault, a fire, whatever, it burns out, and it gets in the news. It makes the news almost every time an EV catches fire. Completely ignoring the fact that petrol diesel engines catch fire as a percentage of how many are on the road, way more than an EV will. People then use this as a reason to not get one, to use it as a negative about EVs. I mean, this person is basically saying that 1 in 100,000 EVs are catching fire. Where is this coming from? I'm guessing Facebook. It is a regular comment though, which clearly means that somebody is pushing this. Don't get one, they'll catch on fire, because that's what things with flammable liquid don't do. I've seen on the news this morning where some people, it's always some people, were pushing their dead electric car off the interstate. People will be shit out of luck if they only rely on electric cars and trucks during a natural disaster like a hurricane, where power will get knocked out for a couple of weeks and they won't be able to plug in a charge up, or people gets caught in a blizzard on the interstate in a traffic jam miles from any town or city, and the car goes dead. They will freeze to death if they're not careful. Electric cars and truck will be the biggest scam ever, just like global warming. Wait and see, lol. Where should we start with this one? Again, I'm not just picking this out and going, ha, look at this guy. This sort of comment about what he's just said, all the time. I get it all the time on a near daily basis. So these aren't one-offs, they're common ones. But it's the same for a petrol engine vehicle. This is again what I don't get. You can run out of fuel, you can run out of electric. Granted, you can have more fuel, you can have more capacity, I guess, with a petrol diesel engine vehicle. If you kept a heater running in an EV, I think someone worked out, you're going to be there for a few days if it was fully charged. You don't see bodies littering the highways or the motorways in winter, do you? Because of all the people that have run out of petrol. Well, what if there's a power cut? How do you charge your EV? And then you say, well, how do you put petrol in a car if there's a power cut? What does the petrol pump use? Oh, yeah. I can get petrol using it. I can siphon it out of the petrol tank, because that happens in regular society, doesn't it? I see people all the time when there's a power cut breaking into BP stations, ripping the covers off and siphoning fuel out into their car. Now, this is something that I am getting an awful lot, and it's only since the past 12 months onwards that this has happened. Effectively, people saying that they're using the subtitles to translate from Scottish to American. There's another one here. If it's near Scottish, it's crap. I'm not Scottish. I'm English. I'm from Yorkshire, which is in the northern part of England. If you're in America, and I can understand you won't know all our different dialects, and there are many, or accents, should I say. But essentially, Game of Thrones, King of the North, they've just ripped off the Yorkshire accent. It's literally the Yorkshire accent. That's what I have. So just think of northern Game of Thrones. Winterfell, what's he called? Mel Gibson. It's his fault for doing such a poor Scottish accent. Apologies for the disruption. EVK and EVW just came back in from being at the amusements and just moved the camera out of the way as I was talking to it. Right, now let's move on again. Now, this isn't something that I'm specifically aiming at any one person or group of people, but the next couple are the Tesla fanboys, shall we say. Again, I own a Tesla, I know how good they are. I find it quite fascinating that the unblinkered passion that some people have for a single thing and just will not accept anything else as an alternative. Tesla is Tesla, enough said. With full self-driving, or FSD as he said, all these car makers will become irrelevant. Again, this is something that crops up on pretty much every electric vehicle review that I've ever done. Full self-driving, which according to Elon Musk is coming out next year. I think he said that before. The UK roads are just, Whitby, for example, you can barely get a car down them. There's usually pedestrians walking in the road because you're only allowed to go along certain roads at certain times of the day. There's so many variables. I personally think a true full self-driving operational car that can operate by itself with no person even sat inside it, like a robo-taxi, if you will, I think we're just so many years away, decades maybe. It's only full self-driving when it can go from anywhere in the country to anywhere in the country. It's not arrived for me if it's just in London or if it's just in city centres and town centres. You know, like Google Maps when it first came out. It was only in the main areas, and everywhere else it just wasn't available. I can see that being a thing, full self-driving, available but only on these roads. That's not full self-driving, that's partial self-driving, if you will. So this guy says, wow, you are talking so much bullshit. As an owner, you should be very well aware that a Tesla drives like a street-legal go-kart. There is nothing more fun than that. In comparison, the Kia, Hyundai, and I guess Genesis, because they're the same group, feel lackluster and underpowered. What is your agenda here? A street-legal go-kart, though, for a Tesla? It's not bad at handling. The performance is very good, in fact. But street legal go-kart, it's not even close. I'm sorry, it's just way too big and heavy for that. And at the end where he said, what is your agenda here? Why would I have an agenda? I do like winding up the Tesla fanboys, so don't take it personally, guys. It's just a bit of fun, as I said. Right, now this guy, very angry. You confirmed my hate. Sorry, need to do it in his style. You confirmed my hate of EV. Batteries are fragile. I could only watch a few minutes of you saying you can drain them, overcharge them if it's too hot or cold, blah blah. Fossil fuel is abundant, cheap and reliable. FEVs. I think he means FEVs. Again, I don't mind people not liking EVs, not being able to afford them. They're not for everyone right now. They're too expensive and charging's an issue. There's lots of things in what is an emerging technology. But it's the hate. I mean, literally his first sentence is, you confirmed my hate of EV. Why do you hate a car? I'm guessing, in fact, no, he is in America again. A lot of these are American, I suppose. This guy is from 4-Colour Ink Print and Sign Shop, Los Angeles. Another one which seems to have tailed off, but still comes on a near daily basis, and it's about batteries again, of course. What isn't? This one is, how about when you sell the EV after 5 years? How much has it lost in value when it will soon need a new battery? They come with 7 or 8 year warranties on them, as standard depending on the car. So why would manufacturers put a 7-8 year warranty on something that's so expensive to replace? The clue is they don't need replacing. And again, the common comeback after that is 7 or 8 years isn't as long as my petrol car. I didn't say it needed replacing after 7 or 8 years. I said that's when the warranty ends. Just like when the warranty ends on a Volkswagen Golf after 3 years. You don't replace the engine, do you? You just have to pay for repairs. It won't go away, will this thing? That you have to replace the batteries after 3, 4 or 5 years. Why? Where's it coming from? Who's peddling this? Or is it just a Facebook thing that won't go away? Is it because people keep watching the same Top Gear episodes on Dave? How can someone still believe something that hasn't been true ever, but 10 years later is still around? That's what I find fascinating. I mean, how many times do people need telling before they listen? That's my problem. I don't mind people not knowing something that they don't care about or have never looked into. It's when you get told something 15 times and you still don't listen. That's what infuriates me. You can tell I'd be a good teacher. Now this one is one of my favourites, I think. We're all familiar with Toyota and their hybrids. And she's put on this one, self-charging batteries just hit the market. So, don't think it won't come truth. I think she means true. So self-charging batteries. We don't need to charge our batteries when they can charge themselves. Now again, this isn't not knowing about cars. This is just, I think, it's primary school level physics. Now let's move on to home energy a little bit, because I'm doing more videos about them because they are a thing. It's very popular and it's something obviously we're doing in our house. And all of them are about governmental control. There's a lot of this going on. A lot of conspiracy theorists basically posting up at the moment. But, this guy, smart meters are for control. He got rid of his and now has his own meters and no contract with any electricity company. Now, I know you can actually genuinely put your own meters in. That is a thing. You can do that, assuming it's an approved meter and it's done properly, of course. I'm just not sure how he has no contract with an electricity company. But it's the smart meters are for control bit, which I find fascinating. Which leads me to the next comment. Smart meters are, in capitals, spying on you. It's all about the government spying on you, isn't it? They send your full usage history, not just regular usage total. They can see your precise energy usage at all times of the day, from which they can compute exactly what you're doing. They know when you're away, how often you cook, how long you spend in the shower, when you switch the lights on and off, do the washing or drying, watch TV, use a computer, etc. They may tell you some of this information in your online account. Such detailed data ought to be covered by data regulations as personal. We should have the right to tell our energy supply not to collect it, instead of to just read the total kilowatt hour per day. Oh, hang on, he's just turned his computer on and the bedroom light. That's the smartphone being plugged in and charging. Oh, his wife's in the shower now. One thing that I never get the answer to as well is, if, let's say, the government or whoever is collecting data about when we get in the shower, when we watch TV, when they turn the lights on and off, what would they do with this data exactly? What purpose would it serve? It's like flat earthers. If there's a person out there who genuinely believes in flat earthers, joking aside, what is the purpose of a worldwide government conspiracy to make us believe the earth is round instead of flat? What is the purpose of this conspiracy? Oh, back to a normal one now. Diesel cars don't need £10,000 batteries every 5 or 6 years. Again, not sure where it comes from. EV drivers are in for a shock in due course. I like what you've done there. Enjoy your motoring while it is relatively cheap. Road pricing is on its way and EVs are the perfect platform for it. Now, this isn't a go at the person who put this in, because I genuinely believe that road pricing will arrive. It will be a thing. They have to get taxed from somewhere, forgetting the fact that it would affect all cars, petrol or electric, so it doesn't change the difference in fuel savings. It's the fact that someone always has to say something negative. So this was about a car review. So we didn't even mention anything about running costs or anything like that. It was just a review about a car. That was all it was about. And yet someone has to say something negative about an electric vehicle. Again, it's like there's a real hatred there. EV drivers are in for a shock in due course. Why do you feel the need to tell us this? And again, on most of my videos, the same person will post the same thing up. It's not just a one-off. You know what it's like? It's like, let's imagine your child comes home from school. Daddy, I got an A in English. Yeah, but you got an F in French. Not good enough. Why can't you just watch a video and go, that car's not too bad, without having to feel like you need to chip in with something that is that might be a downside. This isn't even something that exists. No matter what the subject of the video is, whether it's a car review or about cost of something, the cost of fuel or whatever, Someone will go, yeah, well, electric vehicles aren't as environmentally friendly as you think. I never even mentioned that in the video. Why are you bringing it up? This is sort of similar to one I posted before, but it was quite a fun one. Electric cars, the biggest scam the world has ever seen. Did anyone think of this? If all cars were electric, no one's thought of this. If all cars were electric and if we were stuck in a 3-hour traffic jam in the cold of a snowstorm, the batteries would completely die. Okay? Because there is basically no heating in the electric car. Well, there is clearly. And the fact that I am stuck on a motorway all night, no battery, no heating, no window wiper, no radio, no GPS. The battery has been dead a long time ago. Cold, all right, I'm not going to go down that route. You can try to call the ambulance and protect women and children, but they won't come to help because all roads are closed and probably all police cars will be electric. And when the roads are closed by thousands of parked cars, no one will be able to progress. How to charge batteries on site? Of course, no politician or journalist is talking about it, but this will happen. So she genuinely believes that electric cars are basically just littering the streets. Anytime it becomes winter, I mean, I don't know about you, the last time I drove down the motorway, I couldn't move for electric cars just blocking my way. It's like when people go on about wind turbines killing birds. Every time I walk near a wind turbine, there's just piles of dead birds around there. I mean, it's terrible. All of the people, I guarantee all of the people that have posted that sort of stuff up have never even sat in an EV, let alone owned one. So they're telling us how something is without any experience. I'll try and skim through this because this is quite a long one again. I bet electric vehicles will be banned within 5 years. The governments all over the world are waking up to the toxic, poisonous technology that is electric vehicles, or otherwise billions of end-of-life toxic batteries will poison water supplies in rivers and oceans and end life on Earth. I could go on, but I won't bother. Oh, in fact, no, let me do the last part of it. If you don't agree, address the above. I don't think you will, because nobody can. Well, I did, and then he never replied back to me, which happens all the time as well. If you ever reply back to them, especially if you can put irrefutable evidence in the post, you never hear anything back. Well, I do apologise to the Earth and the people that live on it for peddling electric vehicles and effectively ending all life. I'm very sorry about that. So yeah, stop buying electric vehicles and carry on buying petrol-based alternatives, because that'll go down well. Last one now, and only just because this, again, happens an awful lot. If you post something up, even with evidence, even with irrefutable evidence, they won't believe you. If it goes against something they believe in, then this is what you get called. Another paid-off review. So this was about an EV car. I get called a shill for the EV industry. I get told that I get paid for all these videos that I do about EVs. I wish, in their heads, there's an organisation out there that's basically going to, I guess, media, social media, as well as mainstream media, and saying, here's loads of money. Tell everyone to buy electric vehicles. There's an EV Illuminati, it seems, controlling the world. And this EV Illuminati have got a bigger budget than the oil industry. They're just a car. And that's what it comes down to, isn't it? It's just a car. I think I'm done now. Again, apologies for essentially what is a very basic video, but I'm on holiday. I ain't doing a big one because, well, quite frankly, I can't, and I don't have the time to dedicate to it. And I'm way too unorganised to have a few in advance. I would love to hear whether it's Twitter posts, and post a link in as well if you got it, Twitter posts or other YouTube comments you've seen in other channels. What have you seen that has made you giggle or just go? Right, I'm going to enjoy an ice cream now in Whitby. It's stopped raining. Normal service will be resumed next week, maybe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Oh, and if you want to become a member and see more of this crap, then by all means, click the members button next to subscribe button. You get members only videos and you get these a week early. Bye.